What is good? We are back. It is Tuesday night. It is draft week. We got the boys reporting back to the facility today. There's news about a bunch of different things. Players in the draft that may not be as injured as once thought they were. All kind of stuff. So we're going to jump into this show right now. Sammy, start us up, please.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. And Bill Show.
Intercepted! Marlon Jackson! Marlon's got it! We're going to the Super Bowl! We're going to the Super Bowl! Marlon Jackson with the interception! He picked off Tom Brady!
The sickest Indianapolis Colts podcast. It's gonna be sick.
It's going to be sick. What's good, boys? How y'all feeling? I look at Pat. Pat, you doing your homework?
Yes, sir.
All right, let me go ahead and officially start the show then. That is the official sound of the anvil. That means we are live. How's everyone doing? Please share with a friend, like, subscribe, follow on all the things: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and X. What's up, Peyton? How are you doing? First time in live chat. All right, man. Well, let's get active then. Let's talk about some stuff.
Hey, Peyton.
So I think it's only fair because we got some things to do tonight. So first and foremost, we are going to discuss the boys have reported back to the building. So that means the official season has kicked off. That's number one. Number two, we have a mock draft because the draft is Thursday. So we'll only do 4 rounds. Last time, remember, we did 3. So we'll do 4 rounds, 5, 6, and 7. I mean, they matter. I found that there was some value in there, but a lot of people, kind of fall asleep on that last day. But we'll definitely talk about the first 4. And then we'll just hit some random news about the draft. Players that may or may not be as injured as once thought. What will that do to their stock? This, that, and the other. So fire off. April 22nd, the boys are back in town. How you guys feeling? You excited? Does it feel like the season's coming back yet? Like, where are you at?
Very excited.
Oh yeah, no, I'm listen. The fact that they're reporting back already, that lets me know we're officially getting into revamp season. No more speculating, no more rumor mill, no more can we see videos of this person? No, you get what they give you. So you know what? You're gonna like it. You're gonna like whatever they give you at this point. Because guess what? We back.
I feel like that was targeted. You go get what you get.
Exactly. It's like that. It's like that fantasy football commercial where the guy he didn't show up, and they're just like, "Why couldn't you be at the draft?" And then they were just like, "He's getting married," and then they were just like, "You get what we give you," and then they slammed the laptop on him. It's just like, "Hey, listen,
yeah,
you get what you get."
Okay, so I mean, let's just get into it. I think the most eventful portion of this was the fact that Anthony Richardson spoke. Nobody had heard from him, almost like a ghost, since exit interviews, and there was a lot to be said then, and there's a lot that was unsaid and questioned and all the things. And him coming back today, he had like an 8-minute presser or something like that, where he just spoke about his offseason work and his thought process. And so just to kind of overarchingly, hit on that, what did you guys think? Does he sound different? Is it, just, I'm giving you them very basic off the top answers? Like, what do you guys think? Did you take anything from that? I'll start with you, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think the overall tone for where he is, I think he's, to me personally, at least from what I've heard, it's just like he's taking some accountability for the things that he could have worked on. I think one of the things that he talked about was the fact that, he had to work on some footwork things. He also, talked about, Daniel Jones, and that whole competition, quote unquote. And even that, the remarks that he made with that were just from a point where he's just like, listen, it is what it is. I know what I need to do, and I know why he's here. So, I'm going to go out there and do what I need to do to make sure I'm QB1. Like nothing braggadocious, nothing about, oh, well, they drafted me 4, so I should automatically have it. No, it's just like, it looks like his approach and the mindset is that of, I'm going to say, the maturity that people have said that he was supposedly lacking. And
Yeah.
also talking about him just being able to just take accountability for the fact that you need to go out there and perform for your job.
Facts. Yeah, and I think this is the one takeaway that I had. I feel like I feel like he wants everybody to understand he heard them, right? Like, I don't think he's been shying away from anything. You can go back to, the interview that he had when he was on the podcast not too long ago. Like, I just feel like he's really aware of everything that took place last season. And even when you hear like Shane speak and you hear like Chris Ballard speak, I don't know if y'all heard Shane today where his little clip was like, we want like something consistency, like in character, high character guys and all that. Like, I mean, they're targeting a lot that happened last year. Not just with Anthony, but the whole locker room apparently was, a fucking circus. I don't know. But, like I feel like he's facing the music head on. And he's
Yeah.
everything from every reporter, from every type of fan, those that support versus those that don't. He's heard everything from all of the analysts. And I feel like he's just like, I'm ready to lace him up. And whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I think that's honestly, like I know a lot of people look for like highly overconfident, almost like how UFC fighters are. Like, they got to go out there and say, I'm going to whoop somebody's ass or you're going to get your ass whooped. But I kind of like his approach because like we know that he's a very humble guy. And I think it'd be kind of out of his character to kind of be super arrogant about the situation. But I think he definitely understands his skill set. He definitely understands his abilities. And I think that they're going to be on display, like, from the first snap. So that's my thoughts. What's up, Steve? Welcome to the show. So that's where I am. I see, Pat, you're not even paying attention. So
I'm paying 100% attention.
I'm gonna ask Sammy to kick you to the side. Sammy, kick him to the side.
Don't you do it, Sammy.
Thank
Don't
you.
do it. Oh, he just
Appreciate
don't.
it.
He just don't want DEI in the middle. That's what it is.
No. Now, we're not doing that.
Yo,
We're not doing that.
That's the only reason.
Okay, so what's your thoughts about the speech then, sir?
Man, I really liked it.
Oh, okay.
I agree. I agree with both you guys' takes on it. What I got out of it though was the positivity that he still has. Because a lot of people in his position, they'd be butthurt over QB competition. Hey, you drafted me number 4. I'm your guy, but why you bring in this competition in? I want to trade. We've seen it over and over here recently, last couple of years. We've seen that QB ask for a trade because they brought in somebody else. He hasn't. He's staying mindful. He's staying positive. He's working.
What's up, Chris?
And on top of that, his willingness for the competition is staggering.
What's up, Sean? Yes, sir. Steve.
Absolutely
Yes,
is.
sir. Yeah. I mean,
he's ready for the competition.
right. Yeah.
I love everything about it.
Yeah, but here's the deal, man.
Yeah.
Like, and it's just my thoughts, man. Like, we can beat competition into the ground, and I know how Chris Ballard's philosophy is on that, right? Like, but let's be for real, bro. Like, people who actually are those guys, there's never competition in that room, right? Like when you're Peyton Manning, Andrew Luck, Tom Brady, you fucking name it, like whoever, there's never competition in that room. So I think in a lot of ways, this is, I'm saying this loosely. I think in a lot of ways, like this shit becomes much more of a distraction. And it's almost as if y'all have made it a distraction talking about the brass because it's been so highly touted. And it really isn't as if there's like 2 proved guys that are doing this, right? Like it's just 2 guys that, got some talent and are able to lead a team, but neither one has shown quite yet they're elite. So for me, I feel like it's just too much talk about it. I mean, we found ourselves doing it, asking Andrew, who he wanted as his quarterback, and all like I think we're playing too much into it because it's really Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones when it's all said and done. It ain't, you know what I mean? It ain't, oh shit, Aaron Rodgers is nipping at Brett Favre's heels. What are y'all going to do, Packers? It ain't that, you know what I'm saying? Where that was a real thing and then that had to move forward. So I'm almost to the point where I'm tired of the questions about it. I'm tired of talking about it because I really feel like this ain't, and that's terrible English, but this isn't like some like highly just, oh my goodness, whoever wins this, like the team is really going in a different direction. Like Anthony has a lot to prove. That is my guy. I'm on his side, but he has a lot to prove. And if he wins this, like we said a couple weeks ago, I mean, it's just like he's the better athlete. He should have won it. Like that's, you know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he's an elite quarterback quite that. So that's just kind of where I am with it. So I'm really just
and that's the thing. None of us has crowned him the king of the NFL.
Well,
but
yeah,
but we still believe in this guy. You know, we still believe his ceiling's the highest that we've ever seen out of any professional athlete.
But you don't even believe in Daniel Jones. So I'm saying the competition
I don't know.
But that's my point. Like the competition, if you will.
Oh, so you just want to stop talking about the competition side of it?
Yeah, because it's not there. Does that make sense? Like
it is. It does.
And that's kind of been my point. Like I just don't feel like. I mean, this shit was all over NFL Network today. It was all over like ESPN last week. Ever since we signed Daniel Jones, it's been on that. Pat, is that your phone going nuts?
No, sir.
Oh, I think it might be mine.
What is going on?
I'm betting it is.
What is going on?
My bad.
But yeah, so that's just kind of my
all right. Kick him out of the middle now. There you go. Yay, DI.
Hey, at least I was paying attention.
Wait a minute. So everybody get a chance to have the chair except for me, Sammy? What the hell is going on back? Okay, there we go. Now it's a party. It actually feels like a show now. I'm in my rightful spot. All right, but look, that's enough about that. Anthony Richardson, welcome back. Please show the world that you're ready to do all the things we know you're capable of, and let's just shut this shit down early because I'm really tired of hearing about the competition. Okay. So before we get in our mock, Chris, you brought something interesting to the table. You might as well just bring that up. Let's just talk about that since that's kind of straightforward. So does that change the draft now? Because a lot of people were fearing a certain, linebacker Alabama was going to maybe have an injury that was going to set him back. But what did you find out?
So he got injured. I believe it was during the combine process. So ultimately, what happened was they found out that it was a torn labrum. Original reports were that it would be a 6 to 8 month recovery time, whatever that may be from when they reported it, actually. So from when they reported it after he had the surgery, they said 6 to 8 months. So they were saying that at the very earliest is September. At the very latest, you're looking at November.
Okay.
But the doctor that he's been working with for rehabbing the shoulder showed him today running with it, being able to have just like a range of motion with it. And also the doctor also reported that he should be ready by training camp.
Okay.
So ultimately, the injury, for what it looked like at that particular time, looked like something where he wouldn't even be able to be ready or be available to start the season. Now you're talking about having him out there for training camp, which means that he'd be more than on track to be able to play preseason and also play week 1.
And of course, the person we're talking about is Jahad Campbell, linebacker,
Yep.
I mean, nobody really pays too much attention to the mocks, but if you kind of have been, in the mocks, you've kind of seen him slide. Like I was telling the guys before we came on tonight, like there's actually a mock draft that I did where I was able to steal him while I stole Tyler Warren and him in the same draft. Like I don't think that's a reality. If that is, that's the greatest draft that's going to go down for quite some time. But unless you make some Houston Texan moves, you don't necessarily have to come all the way up, to number 2 or whatever, like what they did when they got Will and CJ. But I'm saying we would have to make some pretty good moves after 14 to come right back into that top 20, in my opinion. Yeah. You're not going to get him at 45 like I did. I have no idea what was going on with that mock. So great segue. We gave DEI a chance to catch up because he's always behind the power curve when it comes to assignments.
Sorry, I don't get to take naps in the middle of the day like some of my counterparts here.
And here's the deal. The funny part about this
thing. That's a one-time thing. Okay.
It's every day for Clyde.
Well, this was his It was his idea, though. He was like, "Oh, we should mock seven rounds."
Yeah, and nobody said anything. Nobody gave me a thumbs up. Nobody said no, we're not doing that. Nobody
I
said
had to go to
nothing.
the doctor. I was at the doctor's today, so that's
I mean,
my excuse.
you are an adult, so you can just do that and then say, "Hey, I
Mhm.
did that." So you guys catch up and do
I
that.
did that.
Okay, cool. So you get to start with
But
the
thanks for telling everybody.
Yeah, of course. With the
My
14th
shortcomings.
pick and our second now mock draft before the draft, the Indianapolis Colts select who, Pat?
Brian Thompson, kicker.
Yeah. Omaha! Yo,
No.
immediately it's like, who?
Ryan Thompson.
Brian?
Say you did the hockey draft or something. Like, what the hell are you
Yeah.
talking about?
I was gonna say, what, the World Rugby Championship kind of what?
Oh man. that's good
Jihad
comedy.
Campbell was there when I did my mock draft. Of course, that's the guy.
What'd you call him, man? Did you call him Jihad? You're
Jihad Campbell.
Oh my
Yeah, that's what I'm calling him. I know
Boy.
it's Jihad, but
we got to get you. See, this is why. Lord have mercy, you didn't call the man.
All right, Jihad Campbell.
Oh
Is
my
that better?
God. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
As long as you're happy, sir. That's all I'm shooting here for tonight.
Jesus
Just
Christ,
to make you happy.
come on, man, do better.
I got
Do
Campbell
better.
out of Alabama, middle linebacker. Everybody knows my opinion on this guy. I do think he is a day one starter, and he's a day one difference maker on our defense. With all the trouble we had getting off the field last year, I think he helps out with that. Absolutely.
Agreed. Side note before we kick it to Chris over here. Did y'all see Darius Leonard? You see his training video? It brought some tears because like he's moving well again.
Yeah.
And the comments couldn't help themselves but say, "Hey man,
We got a new DC. Come home.
hey,
Hey,
guy,
Hear
can
me
you
out.
still play football?"
Hear me out.
Like-
Because I'm telling you, Lou Anarumo's defense, it seems like it's a better fit for him.
Hey man, he
And
was
honestly, we got
looking.
4 linebackers right now, so
See, Chris seen it. Hey, listen, man. And I don't, like I said, I don't think there was no bad blood anywhere, right? I just think that, like at the time, performance wise, the ability seemed like it had degraded or whatever. But I'm telling you, if it's back, I mean, I know that we technically don't hold rights anymore because we cut him and he did his thing. But man, I'm just saying. Okay, Chris, say, buddy. Like, listen, I got excited. I was like, wait a minute. He looked 2019-ish right here.
Hey,
Yeah,
now,
bro.
say now. I'm out. Yeah.
Hey, okay, K Dot. Look at DEI. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
So that one, yep. That one over the head.
Peekaboo. All right, Chris, where you at? With the 14th pick in round 1, Indianapolis Colts select
K. Dot Johnson.
This is gonna be shocking.
Ridiculous.
What? But yeah, this is gonna be shocking. But 14th pick, we got Jalen Walker, linebacker out of Georgia.
This fucking guy.
Yes.
Bruh.
So the thing is,
I
Jihad
thought
Campbell
he was gonna go Tyler.
No. Why would I do that? Like, what do you
Not no
mean?
damn
I
shocker.
thought that's where he was going.
I mean, we know you gonna go defense. It ain't no shocker.
Yes, absolutely.
John
No.
Walker is the best linebacker.
Only reason why it's a shocker is because of the fact that I like in no mock draft that I've seen thus far has Jalen Walker ever made it to 14.
I said Jalen.
That's the only reason.
Jalen, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like, and the thing is, like I said, like Jihad Campbell was there 100%, but I think
Facts.
Jalen Walker is probably I'm going to say the most polished in terms of, I'm going to say that linebacker fringe end group that you could say. So
Now though, hold on. Hold on, because I like that, and I was going to come back and ask questions. But how do you feel about like most of the experts? And I'm gonna say that loosely because you know how these people are. But most of those expert guys say like, but he doesn't necessarily do one thing great. He doesn't necessarily have all this natural like freakish athleticism. He's just a hard, solid player. What do you say to that when you think about who you wouldn't be selecting, i.e. Campbell or somebody else that's crazy on that RAS score, if you will?
I'm able to look at things from perspective that these experts make their money on a year-to-year basis, just having
Okay.
an analysis in the off season, going
Fair.
to the draft, letting the season play out, and then going through the draft cycle again. Because
Mhm.
many times, because honestly, like the fact that like people like Mel Kiper Jr., for example, he's wrong more than he's right. But the thing is, he's able to go in as an expert every single year and have that thing to him where, oh, he's a draft guru, he's this, that, and the other.
Longevity. Yeah.
When I see somebody like a Jalen Walker, I see somebody who is able to move around, who is able to be relentless in that pass rush, who's able to move around and not just be a secure tackler, but has the speed to be able to move in ways that a defense will like for them to move. Now,
Okay.
also the way that you're looking at Jalen Walker, especially in a defense like this, is that you can put him in linebacker, you can put him off the edge, and the way that Lou does his defenses, he's never going to have guys just going and doing one thing. So the
Okay.
thing is, even if for some reason he doesn't do one thing extremely well or at an elite level, I have no doubt in my mind that in this defense, that's going to be polished, or he's going to make sure that he strengthens the weaknesses, and then
Okay.
he makes sure that he takes those strengths and he makes those strengths elite.
Okay. Fair enough.
Because for
Yeah.
me, I don't like with him. I don't see a whole lot of flaw in the way that he plays. But also, if you blitz him off the edge 9 times out of 10, I feel like he's going to be able to get there like 8 times out of 10.
Okay. Fair enough.
My
Fair
my
enough.
take on Walker is he has uncoachable traits. He has
How many Georgia games you want?
let me finish.
I'm about
When
to
I
Omaha, yo.
let, not yet. Take that back.
You fake IU fan. I'm about to Omaha the
No.
shit out of you.
Anyways,
Or you're a Notre Dame
that-
fan. Even
I am
fucking
a Notre
worse.
Dame fan.
Oh
When
my
it comes to
God.
football, IU for basketball.
Get out of here. Anyway, go ahead.
Anyways, wait a minute. Whose team went to the championship
Oh,
What
this year?
championship?
This
You
year?
call that a championship? What team was there?
Yeah.
Did you win something?
No,
did
we just made it to the final game. How'd you guys fare?
Did you see that?
Yeah, we seen you didn't even make it into the championship series.
A lot of turnover. Check us out
That's
this year. Anyway, continue.
let me finish. When I
I
say uncoachable traits, it's his natural abilities that you can't coach in a young man. He has a nose for the ball. That's what I like about this kid. Chris, what you just said, he can learn those things. He can be coached up. But what he does best, you can't coach because that's natural ability, God-given talent only coming out of that kid.
Okay.
Now take your Omaha back
I won't. But anyway,
because you're a
Oh.
Michigan guy.
fair. Okay. So both of you guys, you went defense. And I've been back and forth. I've done multiple where I've went defense, where I went offense. So I'll go with the one where I go offense because I'll just be
This
that
sounds like
guy.
a really long way to say that you're taking Tyler Warren.
And with the 14th pick in the first round, the Indianapolis Colts select Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State University. Everybody go ahead and because Clyde's right and you guys are wrong. But here's the deal.
Clyde needs to get grounded from those buttons.
Here's the deal. Like let's
I'm
just
saying.
not even let's just put it out there. This is honestly a choice I don't want to have. Right? Like I said this probably a month ago. It would be great if the Colts are not in a bind because we could tell from the presser on Monday how Chris really has evaluated this draft. Now you will say, till the chickens come home, how good he is at being a drafting GM and player, profiling and all that. And to me, he doesn't have a superstar grade in this draft. Like, he doesn't have like, oh my God, this is a draft that I'm so excited about. He says there's some really good players. He used Chris' favorite word, depth. But I don't think that he sees a bunch of stars in this draft. And so I say that to say this. I say that to say this.
My bad.
Being
Been a little bit dry
14,
recently.
I mean, you're kind of smack dab in the middle of the first round. And I'll just keep us there. I won't say we slide up or come back or anything like that. We just stay right there. I would hope that the choices are already made for us. So either Tyler's off the board, Jihad is off the board, and you have to get the other. Not they're both staring you in the face. What do you do? Because then I'm sure they have a process. I mean, I know they do. All 32 teams have a process to select the right player for them. But as fans, you can't help but to just, as Chris always say, like, bitch, moan, complain, like, hey, you picked the wrong guy. Like, what? Like, because that's what's going to happen, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
do you want the quarterback to develop? Then get him a safety blanket. No better option than, a great tight end. Do you really want to say our defense was the problem and we brought in a new DC, we brought in a few new pieces, and so let's keep building on that side of the ball? Neither side is wrong, right? I feel like there's value to both, but if you have to have a choice, there's going to be people, they're going to believe, oh my God, we just let go, first ballot Hall of Famer. They might think that Tyler Warren is that or something, or vice versa. So I went Tyler Warren because you guys went, the other.
But you brought up the safety blanket. In your opinion, and this question goes to both of you guys.
Don't you start this shit.
Which blanket is a better safety blanket, an offensive blanket or a defensive blanket? Because we've covered pretty extensively on both sides how going defense or going offense can help Anthony Richardson. So, in my opinion,
it's loaded. That's a loaded baked potato.
It's very loaded.
But
I eat a lot of gummies, so I stay loaded. Anyway,
loaded.
Hey, yo.
All right.
First off.
Anyway, my opinion is
Buckaroo Banzai.
Defense is a better safety blanket because he will not feel any pressure if he knows he's got a top 10, top 5 defense holding it down for him, and he can just go out there and be him.
I disagree.
Not carry everything on his shoulders. That's what I want Anthony to have, is just go out there and be a football player, not be a savior.
That's also, and I agree with you, Pat, and I agree with you for a different reason in that case. And it's because of the fact that if the defense is actually able to get turnovers or get stops the way that they're supposed to, you're essentially making sure that you're limiting the time that you have on that side of the ball for the opposing offense. But now when you're going over to the offense, you can now naturally go and set the tone with your run game, because the run game is going to make sure that you start the clock and you start to control the clock. And then if for some reason they start keying in, start playing the run a little bit heavier, now that's when you'll be able to have opportunities to pass when it comes to Anthony and doing what you need to naturally. It's not going to be like what we had to deal with last year, where teams were literally running the ball 40 yards, then 20, and then getting a 15-yard run in for a touchdown. And they did that all in a matter of 2 minutes. Now, because of the fact that they've killed so much time, but then also you have to go ahead and match pace. With defense, if the defense is getting stops and turnovers, you don't have to match anything. It's going to be on the other team to make sure that they're coming back and that they're correcting those mistakes. Exactly. And if your defense is playing stout and is playing exactly where they're supposed to, and you're running the ball the way you're supposed to, that's going to take immense amount of pressure off of Anthony so that he'll be able to go into a game a little bit more naturally and not have to worry about being the hero that he had to be in multiple games last season.
Right. Just go out there, be a football player, not the savior.
Here's the deal. You're not wrong. But the piece that's missing from that, the piece that's missing from this is, though we get better, of course, in the draft by drafting one of these great prospects on defense, they don't put us over the top. This defense doesn't become a number 1 top 5 defense. They still have to mold together. They still have to grow together. So what I'm getting at is now you bring in Tyler Warren to already go with a comparable wide receiver core. I won't say we have a legit superstar out there, but we have comparable receivers. And what we've been missing is the entirety of that package from tight end all the way X, Y, Z, all the receivers plus whatever's coming out the backfield. We know Jonathan Taylor isn't strong coming out the backfield as far as receiving, but now we got Herbert, who's much better, that type of thing. So what I'm getting at is you allow Anthony to grow the confidence that everybody needs to see. Everybody knows he can throw the ball down the field. He led the league in multiple categories, tossing the ball down the field. But show me that you can, no kidding, keep the sticks moving because you're looking second level, third level. Oh, nothing's there. Back down, drop it off, whatever. Like, he needs that. So the tight end marriage will absolutely create that for him because that's the space that is not being occupied. We try to do it with Michael Pittman a little bit, but people play him differently and they pass him off in the zone, and it doesn't really do what a tight end would do because the tight end is going to get that one-on-one on small safeties and, nickel backs and shit like that. We need a guy that's going to win that. Put the ball anywhere in that situation, and a guy that's 6'5" is going to go get that thing, right? Like, I mean, that's honest. Look at fucking Kelsey. Kelsey athletically has lost several steps, but he's still able to do whatever he wants on the field because he just has that ability to get open. That's what's missing, right? Like, and I know you love the tight ends that we have, and I'm not trying to speak against them, but they don't have the ability naturally just to get open. Like, just get open. Warren's going to do that. Loveland's going to do that. Mason is going to do that. You have to bring that guy in. So
is that the one out of LSU?
That's out of LSU.
Mason Taylor, yeah.
Which, second round, maybe. But are you saying that I mean, you get I mean, we're not in the minds of Ed Dodds and Chris Ballard and everybody else in that room. We don't know how their board looks. But what I'm saying is we have to try to pretend as if we understand what's more important. And I think that's just a crapshoot. But again, your position is not wrong. I feel like a defense that is consistently getting off the field on third down improves your team tremendously. Absolutely. A defense that's forcing turnovers. Absolutely. Because even when we had those great runs, we didn't get off the field a lot as far as like 3 and outs. They turned the ball over. Darius went out and punched the ball out. Kenny went out and made an incredible interception. Remember, that's when we used to say a lot. That is talent over scheme, right? Like, and even though Eberflus was a whole different mindset of a coach, it was still zone heavy. Man, they gave up so many yards, so many time of possession, fucking lopsided games. But you had somebody who could be like, yep, I can change the game right here. Watch this. Boom. Fumble, pick, strip sack, whatever it might have you. So lacking that has definitely put this squad, at a disadvantage. But, you draft a guy, your guy, Walker, your guy, Campbell, whatever, and maybe you have that. But I don't think right away. We're not a player right away on defenses go from like wherever we were last year to top 5. I just don't see that. Could be by the end of the season because, you got to gel. You got to, kind of get your momentum. But right now, I just don't see that. So I would go with the sure thing, which is this tight end. Just my thoughts. But round 2, kick it to you, CJ. Where you at round 2?
Yes. So round 2, I picked Mason Taylor, tight end out of LSU.
As if I talked that right up.
Isn't that the darndest thing? Like, and you know what? And the thing is, Mason Taylor. Did y'all know that he's Jason Taylor's son?
Who?
Yep, Jason Taylor from Miami.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I didn't know either until this week. But no, but I think
that's a black kid.
Mixed kid? I mean, look at Mason Taylor. He doesn't have the peanut butter skin like his sister.
Sister.
Joy Taylor. From Fox Sports?
Oh, you said my sister. You said his sister. My bad.
Joy. Yeah, his sister.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, duh, that's his sister. I was like,
I heard your sister too, Clyde.
Yes,
you're not losing on this one.
Oh,
I was tripping.
Well, no, but Mason Taylor, like, so for him, I think he's left out of all these conversations because of the fact that I think he's both a good receiving tight end, and he's
Okay.
also a good blocking tight end. But I don't think like when we talk about Warren, right? Warren is a good fringe great wide receiver
What's
or
up, Kevin?
receiver,
Mhm.
but I think what his biggest attribute is that he's almost an elite blocker. Like
Taylor.
he's going to
Yeah.
be able to go ahead and block on the edge. No, I'm talking about Warren.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then like Colston Loveland, for example, he's a decent blocker, but I think he's a far better receiving tight end than anything else. I think with Mason Taylor, you get those where it's like it's a good to great type of range when it comes to both of those things. So for me, it's like I think he's mentioned as like I'm gonna say the bottom of those three. He's not in the Warren Loveland range, but he's
Right.
that guy where it's just like if you get him, you can go ahead and plug him in day one.
That's fair.
And to me, it's just like if you go and you draft him, that means that now you're knowing that okay, yes, like this is gonna be the guy who's going to come in and essentially be like your number one, or basically he's gonna be the standard for which everybody else in that room is going to have to make sure that they're gonna be at because he's gonna come in from day one and make sure that he's leaving his mark.
And I feel with that, and this is no knock on a player that we all, have a certain space in our heart for, but then you just redrafted like a Jack Doyle at his that's to me that's his maximum. That's what he can achieve.
That's his ceiling.
That's his ceiling. He can be
I
what
don't,
Jack Doyle was.
but
And
that's
that's
the thing. I
improving his
don't,
blocking because
but
Jack was
that's
a
the
great blocker.
But that's the thing. Like, I don't necessarily believe that is Jack Doyle because I think for all the things that Jack Doyle was, his best attribute was that he was a good blocker. Now, if you've watched Mason Taylor, just like in any of the games that he's played, he actually can move in and out of the defense really well. And I think something that's underrated about him is that he actually does really well, especially in one-on-one coverage,
That's
because of
fair.
the fact that he's a bigger body guy.
That's fair.
So for him, he's going to be somebody where, if you're sending somebody across the middle, because I don't believe that sending AD Mitchell, across the middle in like a short slant is ever going to be conducive to anything. But if you have Mason Taylor, basically just exploiting the middle, especially being a big body like that, he's going to be somebody who's going to be that security blanket in that case if you don't end up getting a Tyler Warren or a Colston Love.
Because Tyler Warren is like Kittle to me. He's physical. He's
Mm-mm.
he yeah. Yeah.
Nah,
Same pedigree.
because
Same
no,
pedigree.
because the thing is for me, I
Down to
think
the hair. What do you mean?
George Kittle
Like,
George Kittle is I think to me George Kittle is he's one of those sneaky players, right? Because you have certain players who have a certain look, but the thing
okay.
is like they play much tougher than that. Like going back to it, like look at him and it's just like, oh, he looks like a skinnier tight end. But yet he had more than one game throughout his career where he's basically has like more than one person trying to tackle him and he's carrying them on his back like they're children. Like I think that's the sneaky part of him. It's like the sneaky strength. I think with Tyler Warren, everything that he's going to be is already out there.
Oh wow.
I,
That's,
it,
you
it,
gotta get Omaha for that. his whole body of work is completed. Like this is what you get. Like,
I don't think it's completed, but the thing is, I think
oh
it's
man.
more flash in the pan than anything else.
Flash in the pan? Do you know how crazy
Yes,
that sounds?
the man has 1,880 yards for his whole entire career, and he got 2/3 of that this season in a 5-year span.
At Penn State, bro.
It doesn't matter. Penn
It
State.
does
We're gonna
matter.
say at Penn State as if Penn State wasn't in the playoff just this
No,
past year.
but it's how they play football. Like they don't feature tight ends, bro. That ain't they thing. They run the damn ball, and they every now and then they'll have a little flashy pan receiver out there that can maybe take the top off for Big Ten speed. But they don't. I mean, come on, man. They are a gritty, hard nosed team that is known for being linebacker you. So, and look at their quarterbacks they've had. These dudes are these ain't the dudes. Come on, man.
Nah, I can't. And to me, it's just like it wasn't consistent. It was not consistent. You have how many games did they play this season,
I don't know.
including the playoffs?
15, maybe.
15.
I'm guessing. I don't know. Maybe 15.
No, I think it's 15. I think you're right because it's 12, and then I think they had 3 games beyond that, I believe. But
Yeah.
so you have 15 games to get 1,200.
Mhm.
Now, mind you, and this is just somebody that I brought up randomly before, but I'll say it again. You have somebody like Harold Spanman Jr.
Oh shit! All right, you know what?
No, we're gonna be objective. We're going to be
We're
an objective
round
podcast.
2 of 4. Come on, CJ. We've had the Harold Fanning. We've
I'm
had the
not
Harold
letting
Fanning
you escape on this
conversation.
one. 1,550 yards, and he played against teams like Penn State, and he scored against linebacker U 100, or he had 11 receptions, 137 yards, and a TD.
Yes, we will be on Thursday briefly after our pick. Maybe slightly before our pick, through our pick, after our pick for sure, but not like a whole show. Okay, Harold Fanning, yeah, but then Harold Fanning, ends up being like, Kyle Pitts or something, and nobody even knows why we drafted him. Like, then it's that, because he's more of a receiver, in my opinion, than a tight end. But round 2, you took Mason Taylor. Pat, since you were working through the evening, you chose who?
Jack Sawyer.
Oh, hell no. Hell no.
Yeah, baby. Edge out of the Ohio State University.
Absolutely not. First off, you reaching for the stars by taking him at 45. He is not top 50. That's numero uno.
I like him.
And number 2, fuck no. We're not even going to talk about that guy. Asshole. Anyway. with the second round selection in round 2, pick 45, because I'm the guy that gets it right. I'm going for needs here. I'm gonna go Carson Schwessinger out of UCLA, linebacker. I feel like losing EJ Speed. You need somebody that's comparable in that spot, especially where we're picking in the second round. If we don't take somebody in the first round, that leaves that hole. And I do believe that he's a day one starter, but I do believe he's going to have to change some things. He's a bit undersized. He's very instinctual. Makes a lot of plays in the backfield, that type of thing. But he can find himself, pushed around a bit. So Lou likes to use, players in very unique spaces, very unique ways. I feel like he can get away with that. But if he's going to be an every down starter, we're going to have to gain some weight, a couple other things. So, but I like the kid. I like the kid for what he's able to do. So that's my second round pick. I do. I like him better than fucking Jack Sawyer. Fuck out of here.
No, you don't.
That bum. All right. Round 3. I guess I'll lead with that. Round 3, I think that's pick 65. Am I right
80.
on that?
80.
Oh, 80. Damn. Why does it feel like our damn draft is so spaced out this year? Okay.
No, it's just because we don't have all those extra picks.
Yeah, we don't have
normally do.
Yeah, facts, true that. Okay. I have DT out of Tennessee, Omar Norman Lott, Space Eater. Okay. Dude can move, played a bunch of different techniques, so he can gravitate to however they want to utilize him, whether that's behind Grove, whether that's behind Buck. If you looked at Tennessee's line, they had some pretty good, pressures in some games, and he was a big cause of that. So I really like their line. I really like Texas line. So you really, in my opinion, you can't go wrong pulling somebody off either 2 of those defensive lines. And of course, Michigan, but those guys will be gone. Grant and Mason Graham, they'll be out of there. So I went DT. All right, I kick it to you, Pat. What you got round 3?
Here's where I went tight end. Elijah, and I'm telling you right now, I grabbed him because he was the top guy on the board. Miami.
Oh, yeah.
The Royal.
Yeah, that name.
Okay.
He's decent. He's decent.
But that's where I got him. The report I read that he can get off the ball, he can create separation.
Mhm.
Pass blocking needed to be shored up a little bit, but it wasn't super negative on this report. So
Yeah.
I can work with that.
Well, because here's the deal. I mean, we already got one of those guys on our roster from Miami, and Will Mallory's from Miami. They kind of got that same kind of profile. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't lean toward that guy, because we already kind of have somebody in that same capacity. But no, he's not a bad pick. But there's things that has to change.
Well, I figured if I didn't get a tight end in there, Colts Nation would have my head on a stick.
They're gonna have your head on a
This
stick
is also
anyway
true.
because you're a Patrick. But anyway,
Well, that's true.
Chris,
It's just-
round 3. Where did you go?
round 3 actually stayed with offense. We ended up getting running back out of
There you
Arizona State, Cam Scatterbuck.
Whoa!
Nice. I love that one. I love that.
That was yes.
That's kind of a reach, no? And
He
no,
hasn't-
not,
he's
so,
like 100 plus.
so well. The only reason why I say that he's not is because of the fact that we know like how the league is trending right now,
Okay.
and we know that like it's a copycat league. And I'm going to say one of the most successful teams was the Detroit Lions, and part of their scheme is that you have two backs who are very who are very effective at what they do.
Facts.
Now we have JT. JT, as far as a runner goes, I'm gonna say he's probably one of the best runners in the league.
Fair.
The thing is, he's just not that great of a receiving back because he hasn't needed to do that since his days in Wisconsin.
Facts.
Cam Scatterbo is going to be somebody who's going to be able to come in. He can run. He doesn't have the highest top end speed, but in terms of his receiving, especially out of the backfield, the way that he's able to, like, he's a receiving power back in that case. So
Okay.
ultimately, what you end up doing is you have somebody where now you have, essentially another security blanket, but you have a security blanket that makes sure that if for some reason, the O line isn't necessarily performing the way that they did last year, now you have Scatterbo, who also is a very good blocker. So
Okay.
you have somebody who's going to be able to be back there in the backfield, who's going to be able to block, but who's also going to be able to be a security outlet if for some reason AR needs to dump it off or do what he needs to do. I think like this, like having Mason Taylor, then having Scatterbo means that your offense now is 10 times better than it was before because the blocking is better, but then you also know that you're going to have sureties, I'm going to say within that 15-yard range now.
Okay. No, I had to. So I ran to NFL.com, and they actually have him 3rd. I thought maybe both of the Ohio State backs as well as the kid out of Carolina would have been a little bit higher. But okay, I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
That's not a bad. I mean, I think I just everywhere I've seen in all the mocks or just projections, I've seen him like, at 100. So that would have put him in the 4th round. But cool, I'll take it. I made a case for him earlier, so I'll definitely take it. Yeah, Ronnie. I don't think it's that big of a need, man, because we ain't gonna go all the way to the end. But I got a guard that I really like out of Cincinnati in round 6. His first name is Luke. His last name is slipping my mind. But
That's a hell of a last name in my mind.
no, Luke Condra. There you go. He's a guard. I picked him in round 6. But we're going into round 4. Okay. And we'll lead with you, Pat. This is our final round since we're only going to do, and you're sleepy as hell.
Oh, I tell you what, no rest for the weary.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you're going to love my pick. I got Miles Frazier out of LSU, guard.
Ooh,
That's not a bad pick.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Time to start shoring that up. That right guard is kind of an open spot. We got rid of Fries. Don't know if Gillespie's going to come back or not. Haven't seen anything.
Glowinski?
Yeah.
So
yeah. Who do we have on the team that can fill that spot?
It's gonna be
consistently. I don't know. So that's why I went a guard on the 4th round. I want better protection for Anthony.
You're gonna have Gonzalez, and you're gonna have Pinter. They're probably leading the charge.
And they both do well.
Yeah, they're probably leading the charge for sure. Okay. Who you got, Chris? Round 4.
Round 4, I have this is a crazy name. Za Frazier. So he's a cornerback from University of Texas South Austin. Or not South Austin. San Antonio, sorry about
San
that.
Antonio, yeah,
I'm going
UTSA.
crazy, yeah. Yeah. But no, he actually so the things that jump off the board for me is the fact that for one, he's 6'2", so he's a rangier corner. He's very physical, especially for being a taller corner. And not just that, but also he is somebody who I think does fit in that mold where it's just like he's going to be able to tackle. I think one of the biggest stats for him is that last season he only had 2 missed tackles, and he only has a career missed tackle rate of 5.6% for his whole entire college career. So, I mean, as it stands right now, I think that's somebody who is not going to stray away from the physicality, and I think that's what Lou looks for. But then also that's going to be alluring for Chris Ballard because he has the RAS of 9.36. So yeah, so like I said, it's they everybody likes what they like.
Everybody gets yeah. He loves his RAS scores. I still like Kobe Bryant out of Kansas as a corner. He's like 6'1", but no, that kid can play too. UTSA. Okay, I'm with it. All right, and then round 4. And make sure I got it right because it's the same in both of my drafts.
That was round 4. That was round 4 for me. Or I think.
Yeah, no, I haven't. Damn, let me say my guy. Damn.
Just making sure.
Easy, boys.
All right, so I took a Georgia linebacker, and I just don't know why he's where he is in the draft. I feel like he's better, but Smail Mondon Jr. like that's my guy for backer. Like I just couldn't because it just the way the draft is. I feel like it's a super reach, but I felt like if Jalen Walker's gone, Jahad Campbell's gone, like I like this kid, like right up there. But I mean, I feel like of course these people know what they're doing. They grade it out better, whatever. But if you watch the kid play, physical, athletic, he has some injuries, which kind of like had his career on the rocks a little bit. But he played for the most part of this season, and he played good when he played. And I just feel like that kid's a talent. So in a room where I feel like, though, we heard Chris Ballard say he likes who's in the room. He likes his guys, if you will, Cam McGrone and Sagan Alubi and all those guys, Michigan kids. I get it, but like, nah, bro, like we need to get athletes. And if Zaire's our number 1, like we definitely need something beside him because, in a lot of ways, he's a great player. He's a great backer, but though he's a tackling machine, he's not, when you think elite linebackers, he doesn't jump right off the page. See what I'm saying? So I just feel like we need a little bit more talent around him, period. That's just where I'm at. So whether that's bringing Shaq Leonard back, plug to the organization, look at his videos. At the worst, bring him in for a workout. Just let him come back into the facility. I don't know. Just see what he can do. I mean, it's worth a shot, boys. It's worth a shot. I mean, I'm always gonna root for that guy. So that's just Clyde. But that's all I got, man. You guys excited? 2 days.
I'm ready. I'm ready for all this nonsensical craziness to be over.
It's like draft, and then it's like the schedule releases, and then before you know it, like
rookie OTAs,
and then there's OTAs, and then there's training camp, and then you blink and it's August, and somebody's playing a preseason game, and you're like, what? Like it's back. So yeah, man, this is big. It's my birthday week. Pretty excited. My birthday's on Sunday.
Well, you tell the people how old you gonna be.
I don't mind. 43.
62.
Pat, come on now.
Hey, listen. Once your birthday hits, you're gonna have to fight even harder to make sure that you don't say the before social media platform.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Here's what we don't have to worry about.
you gotta quit. You gotta quit prepping him towards the end of the show because you know he's gonna say it.
Oh yeah, he's gonna. Yeah, I know.
All right, Sammy, put up the socials. You can find
thank you,
me
Clyde.
on X at Colts Clyde, just like that.
You can find me on X at Big P Colts.
Jesus Christ, it's
And not on ecstasy, but on X.
And you can find me on Twitter at CJ Colts fan.
Okay.
Yeah, on Twitter.
On Twitter. All right.
Whatever.
He's
You know you enjoy driving your Tesla.
Sammy, will you put up our
Kind of Subaru
handle, please? Let's see if Sammy can pull up our handle on X. Maybe not. Okay. Find us on X at Sick Pod Colts. There it is. And also like, subscribe, follow all the things. YouTube, that's going to be at the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. Facebook at the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. And I believe Instagram at the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. So find us, follow us, all the things at the Sick Podcast Anvil Show. I know I missed the last couple episodes, but I was glad to be back with you, Wazoos. It was great to be at the camp for Josh Downs. Kenny Mo camp is coming up. Then we got Zaire's camp after that. So fun summer, fun spring summer for the boys at the Anvil. You guys got any parting shots before we get out of here?
Be safe. Be good.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I think Thursday we're gonna be on for a little bit. So hey, when you see us,
okay,
come on, give us your reactions.
All right, so it's officially not DraftKings season. Okay, but we're gonna put a small little wager. Tyler Warren versus anybody on defense. If anybody want to take that?
I'll take that.
You'll take that? How much you want to take it for? You want to take it for?
Are you taking Tyler?
Yes, I'm taking Tyler.
I how much you want to go down?
That's what you tell me. What you want to?
I'll do 20.
Ooh, 20?
I'll do 20 with you.
20 across the board? 20 20 20?
20 20 20.
I'll do 20. Hey, so it's so basically it's just like it's gonna be 20.
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on. Let's take a timeout. Because when you make bets, you gotta make sure you get the shit right. This is saying in the event that Tyler Warren's available and
no, don't do that.
Now you're changing the rules.
Yes, I knew
it's worthless. You got to leave out some money.
It's worthless.
I knew it.
No, I knew it. That's being a smart bettor. That's worthless.
Well, we can make this bet as long as the moon comes up on the 32nd day of March in the year 2037.
No, that's saying that the availability is in our selection to choose him or whoever, and we're going to choose him is what I'm betting. Not like, oh, he went number 7 overall and I lost the bet. That's goofy. Like, we ain't had no fucking play in that.
So then would you bet tight end first round then?
No, because it's either him or nobody. It's not. I know people keep saying Colston, but it ain't Colston. Colston's not a 14th pick. Absolutely not. So do we have a bet or not? Because we got to go.
No, not now.
You fucking scary ass.
You're the scary one.
You're the one
did that. You literally
Listen. When I go to the freaking casino, I play poker because I control my cards. I don't do roulette. I don't do craps. I don't do the other games where you just wish and you hope. So I had to make sure the bet makes sense. The bet doesn't make sense. It's just be like, oh, the Colts are going to draft Tyler Warren. I bet, and that's saying that no one else can draft him. That's ridiculous. I'm saying if he's available, like everybody keeps showing, he's there at 14. Jihad's there. Jalen Walker's there. Whoever else is there. I'm saying we're taking Tyler Warren. That's the bet. But Tyler Warren has to be on the board when we select. Like, he can't get selected number 9 and you be like, oh, give me my $20. Like, no, that's fucking crazy.
Yes, we can.
No, hell no. If you that short, then go for it.
Okay, 40 seconds. Bet or no bet?
No, you know what? I think if the bet is in, well, then again, no, because if he makes it to us, I'm pretty sure all the defensive player that I think that we would normally get. Nah.
25.
I'm not with that caveat.
20 seconds, yeah.
No bet.
Nah. No good. No bueno.
I would say something mean, but this is a family show. Sammy,
It's not, do it.
Hey, Chris, this is like the little kid on the playground that just got beat at some kind of weird game and changes the rules because he got beat.
Sammy, take these bums out of here.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Sick Podcast and Bill Show on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.